Welcome to another episode of NEC-Suites, where we interview community leaders to glean insights for our small business community. This morning, I have the pleasure of interviewing Ms. Pam Nabors, who is the CEO of CareerSource Central Florida. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
I am looking forward to this conversation and to the activity we're doing today. This year, we're taking a different approach to these interviews where we are learning a little more about you, and you, the guest in this case, and what you do to decompress, because it's important in this work-life balance to do things to obviously be able to relax when you've got stressful jobs. And being CEO of such a large organization definitely has its moments, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So you had shared with me that you do puzzles. And so we're going to make a puzzle. And normally you would start a puzzle knowing what the photo is.
Yes.
But you've got, I will note, you've got an incredible team. And so we have something that I believe is going to put a smile on your face. So you don't know what the picture is. And I think that's kind of part of the whole puzzle.
Yes. Yes.
So why do you do puzzles? I guess I should start by asking.
I guess there's a couple reasons. Like, one is sort of just the curiosity of figuring it out.
Okay.
So I do know what it is. I think I shared with you that right now I'm doing this puzzle. It's a collage of Vincent van Gogh.
Yeah.
Portrait of pictures.
Very abstract.
Oh my gosh.
paintings.
And it's taxing my brain a little bit because there are parts of it, like I love Starry Starry Night, the Starry Night, but that one is the toughest piece. It's the centerpiece of the puzzle. But think about how abstract the brush strokes are. But the other reason besides curiosity is just sort of to decompress my brain. I'm thinking about the puzzle. I'm not necessarily thinking about what's happening at work or the stress. But interestingly, during the process, I actually started this during COVID. I get ideas that do relate to work, but it's in more of a, I don't know, just a relaxed setting.
Yeah,
an organic setting.
Thought.
So, and I'll be able to then sort of have more calmly move from one issue to another. And if you think about COVID, there was a lot of crazy stress going on for our organization for many.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So I've still continued to do it. But this one looks a little easier than the 1,000 pieces.
By far. I wanted it done. I wanted us to be able to complete it.
Yes.
So, okay, so we're going to start the puzzle.
Okay.
What's the strategy? How do you approach
So
it?
this is my strategy.
Okay, and we're going to do it on the map.
Okay,
so.
I put the outside together first.
Okay,
so I look for the corners.
You may quickly recognize
There's another
what
corner.
it is.
So that's a corner.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And here's a corner.
So as we're doing that, tell me a little, what is CareerSource?
So CareerSource Central Florida is a private nonprofit corporation. We are also considered the workforce development organization for Central Florida.
Okay.
And by that, really what we do is connect people to meaningful careers and connect businesses to talent.
Okay.
We are very centered around creating career journeys that are personalized and customized for each individual. It's not our story, it's your story.
Theirs. Okay.
And it's not our business need, it's your business need. And so we're literally creating relationships with individuals through one-on-one consultation, through virtual meetings.
If they can't make it into an office. And how many offices do you have?
We actually now have 5 career centers where you can physically come in, and they support the 5 counties that we actually serve.
Okay.
We serve what would be considered the second largest workforce area in the state of Florida. So 5 counties around the city of Orlando. I would say Orange, Osceola, Seminole, Lake are around Orlando. Sumter is kind of tucked in at the top, but we also serve Sumter County and a population of about 2.5 million people now.
Wow. We've grown as a community,
thousands of businesses. So yeah. Oh, good. Okay, another corner. That looks like a sky, perhaps.
Okay. Yes.
So yes. Okay. I see Disney Park down here. So I'm thinking there's some Disney character. Wait a minute. I see my face. Uh-oh.
How does CareerSource assist the small business community?
So for small businesses, for any businesses, but in particular for small businesses, we can really be the extension of their human resources or even their human resources division. If, like so many businesses, the CEO is also the marketing chief and the
CFO,
HR official, right? And so we can actually, first of all, understand their hiring needs, sit down with them, create a customized approach to recruitment. We can actually evaluate the job descriptions they put together. The labor market, the workforce is very difficult to get talent out of these days. It's getting a little better, but it's still a challenge since COVID really upended
Now, is it
the whole
because so
process.
many folks are more
See my little
interested in
sweetheart's face here.
So you recognize
Yes.
it's coming together.
So this is my Desi. This is my sweet grandchild, 5 years old. Yes, he was here in February. This picture is from there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, so cool.
It's so ta-da! That was the surprise.
I love it. I love it.
So, are there any particular programs that you find our small business community or just entrepreneurs could really leverage from CareerSource?
Absolutely. So, back to that customized approach, we can we can do the screening. So if we help a small business actually craft a new job description, and then we actually will post it for them. We will pre-screen candidates. I'm very proud that we actually know that out of every 3 candidates we refer to a business, they're hiring 1.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty good competitive to a staffing agency approach. The other thing is sometimes for small businesses, they might choose someone who doesn't have exactly all the skills they need, but we do have resources. I should have said earlier that we also work a lot with Florida Commerce and programming that actually supports creating skills in individuals. Some of those approaches are doing on-the-job training with businesses. We can offset the cost of wages during a training period. So if someone doesn't quite have all the skills that you need, you can actually craft a training plan. We have an internship program where you can try out as a business a person for 3 months or 4 months on your not on your payroll, but we use a staffing company, and you actually are training them. It's really beneficial because you can try out and see if they're a good fit.
Correct.
Skills and culture.
Because it's more than just skills. It's a personality. It's the culture. Do they fit? But one of the things that I appreciated the most is that oftentimes you don't find an employee that's the perfect employee. It's not like a puzzle. It's not just that perfect fit. But you're upskilling. There's training. You're teaching them about the culture. And 90 days, 3 months is a really good, significant amount of time. To really kind of see if it's something that is going to be a fit. And most individuals want to fit into an office environment that where they feel challenged, that they can grow, and be valued at the end of the day. And so what a wonderful asset we have with CareerSource Central Florida to be able to do that. So it's the matchmaking between an employer and an employee, where on paper that employee may not seem like the perfect fit, or an employee doesn't even know much about the company and whether they'd enjoy working there or not.
So especially for companies who are interested in hiring younger talent, we also work with young adults to acquaint them with all the great career opportunities and growing industries here in Central Florida. Remember our economic development organization years ago used to say, Orlando, you don't know the half of it.
Correct.
Because really 33% or so of our economy is in the hospitality and tourism industry, but we have amazing jobs, as you know, and businesses that support healthcare, manufacturing, construction. Cranes are up everywhere around here.
What was the line that was Mayor Dyer's favorite bird?
Yes,
a crane.
Exactly, a crane. And also, modeling and simulation. I mean, we are the home of EA Sports, where they're creating, gaming. And so many young people have no idea what's right here in their backyard. So actually next week, because we're doing this at the end of May, we are starting our young adult career experience programs. For businesses, they can actually employ a young adult, say 16, 17, or 18 years old, for 5 weeks in the summer. All of their wages are paid by CareerSource Central Florida during the summer. I find so many businesses are interested in getting their business in front of young people to think about, is this an opportunity for me, or is this a career opportunity for me?
Do you find mostly corporations take advantage of that, or
no? Actually, we have corporations. We do work with like the hospitals, Advent Health, Orlando Health, but we also have many small businesses
Okay.
and government and nonprofit actually take advantage of putting
as
young
well.
people to work. The program actually does two things. It actually, for the older teens, it has that internship 4 or 5 weeks. But then for younger teens, we're also working with businesses to acquaint them with the different career opportunities. So we take young people to financial institutions. Additions and Fairwinds are great supporters in the summer to understand financial careers. So that's just an example of all of the different opportunities. You know, one thing about CareerSource is we really do provide these customized journeys and services for people all the way from beginning your career to maybe changing your career to encoring your career. So
you had said that, yeah. So what is encore? That one I thought was interesting.
So encore, well, encore is, you know, the next bow or the next act in your a play or a life. But for many quote unquote seniors, people over 55, they still want to work. They may not want to work full time, and so we support them in finding a different career or a different opportunity. The other piece of Encore that's interesting is we do have people coming out of the private sector who have been in leadership roles. In the nonprofit sector or in government, there is a huge need for skilled individuals in the professional levels, finances, HR, leadership, you know, actual president and CEO. Think about the skills that an individual might bring to an actual nonprofit or a public organization. But it's also a different environment. It's different than the private sector.
Yes.
And so that's another encore opportunity that you kind of learn about the nonprofit or the public sector and the differences between that and the private sector.
Yeah.
So lots of opportunity.
Yeah, and they get to give back in a little more, you know, I don't want to say casual pace because as a nonprofit.
Oh no, I was going to say there's no casual pace, really. Yeah, I've not found that, Belinda. My organization is a nonprofit. It's not casual
at all. It's but yeah, that's a great way for them to re-engage, use a skill set that they've learned, talents, and continue to pay it forward. Is the best way to say that.
I think people too want to be engaged and feel like they're contributing, just because they might have a different work schedule, you know. So it really does give a lot of opportunity. So it's fun. It's a really young adult, changing career adult. We also support people and businesses who are going through the downside of the cycle. You know, we do see some businesses that have to close divisions or experience layoffs. We can immediately support companies big and small when that's happening. So, because there are other companies out there that are looking for that talent.
Correct.
And for people, especially, you know, we talked about the challenges during COVID. You know, it really was an extreme pivot for CareerSource at the time. We mentioned 5 career centers. We now have a full service virtual customer center. So you don't have to go to an actual physical center to receive services. You can actually receive all of our services virtually.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So the best way to learn about all of this is to go to the website?
Oh, absolutely. The website, which is CareerSourceCentralFlorida.com. But also we on the website, you can call and speak to the customer care center, and they will actually, you can make an appointment. You can do that via virtually, and I think I'm very proud too. We have about just under 200 total staff at CareerSource Central Florida, and they are professionals we call them career consultants and business consultants. So they are going through and have experienced training and their own other work experience to understand either the economy and the business community, or really understand what helps people to create career planning. They receive certification through various Florida Commerce programs, as well as partnerships in economic development and other career development opportunities. So I'm very, very proud of all of our staff.
Yes, that's amazing. And as a small business owner, you nailed it when you said you're having to wear so many multiple hats, and HR is oftentimes one of those is the hardest to really put your hand around.
There's me and Paul. There's my husband on the left.
Got a smile out of it, which is what I was looking for.
And my sweet little grandson, Desi. This picture was at Disney Springs in February. Desi turned 5.
Aww.
Yes, and so he got to spend, and he calls me grandma, like My children called my mom Grandma.
Yeah.
So, and Papa, this is Papa Paul.
Papa Paul.
Yes,
Nice.
Papa Paul.
We have a Papi and Grandma, and then on my side, it's Abuela and Abuelo. So we
That's so
distinguish
sweet.
between the grandparents.
So
So becoming CEO
Mm-hmm.
of such a large organization, regional organization, what was your journey like? How did it start?
So, well, I've been in workforce development, career development services for 30 plus years of my career. And I've actually worked in workforce boards. I worked for a long time in Brevard County, actually, Florida, for the workforce board over there. Then my life changed and I went to work for the Workforce Development Board in Hartford, Connecticut for 15 years. And back in 2011, 2012, the workforce organization here, because it also receives a lot of public money, it does have to follow rules and regulations around how it spends that money.
For our tax dollars.
Yeah. Well, there were some challenges back in 2011. Long story short, the entire board was reappointed by the local elected officials here, and the executives were all dismissed and a whole new team.
I remember.
Yes, you remember.
I was in economic development.
Yes, yes. So I heard about the opening, and I had, of course,
from Connecticut.
From Connecticut, yes, because the workforce development world is relatively small across the country. There are about 600 workforce boards around the country that serve all parts of the United States. But in leadership, we are colleagues in national organizations. And so then actually the search firm reached out to me that was looking for a new president and CEO here. I was the director of all things programming in Hartford, Connecticut, was the largest board there. And they said, are you interested in looking at this position? And so my husband, who had 30 years in the fire service, he was assistant chief, he said, oh, I think you should consider this.
Florida, no
less. Are you sure, right? Are you sure you'd want me to? But it's, there's a national search. There are many applicants. But I thought to myself about what I knew already about Central Florida, and that this organization, with all of the public resources and, the corporate investment and sponsorships, really had 30 million or 35 million of resources to create and enhance the community, people and businesses. Yeah. And I thought, what an amazing opportunity to do this. So I said, okay. So one virtual, at that time, Skype interview then led to me coming down here and interviewing in front of a panel of 17 of the board members and the Orlando Sentinel at the time, because it was very, very public.
It's a public interview, right?
Yes, yes. But I was very fortunate to be offered the position. And so there were a lot of challenges. At the time, we had audit issues we had to resolve, but I had a wonderful board of directors.
I was going to say, a brand new board that's just as motivated and eager.
And led by extraordinary community leaders, and we have been, ever since that time, great partners to the NEC and to its businesses and all of the organizations that are a part of the NEC as well. In 1 year, we actually resolved all of our financial issues.
Oh, wow.
And in just a couple years, we really set our organization back on a good reputational path. We were very fortunate to also get rebranded in the process to CareerSource, which has helped. But I also think that, our driving mission is to really create that journey, that customized journey that helps people reach, or businesses reach, the potential that they want, to inspire that potential. We've kept that in front of us for many, many years. And I'm very proud that as we look at ourselves across the state, we're an A+ rated by the state board.
Congrats.
And how we do that is the performance of getting people jobs, of finding talent for business. We serve well over 30,000 people a year.
Oh, wow.
And thousands, 6,000 businesses in the last year.
Nice.
So,
hopefully
I'm very
we
proud.
can help increase that with the entrepreneurs.
But, one thing I wanted to say to you is that, as the CEO, you know this, in any organization, you choose to be the president and CEO every day. Some days you're walking a tightrope that's 2 feet above the
Mhm.
ground, and some days it's 200 feet
Correct.
above the ground, and you still choose to walk it.
Mhm.
And there are challenges. Puzzles really help.
Well, and as we're
And
doing this, I'm
this
like,
guy
I could
and this
totally
little
see
guy
this.
really help.
Yeah.
But as well, and are incredibly supportive. Look at this. This
So,
is so cool.
coming together.
I love this. I
Yeah.
love this.
We might do a little movie magic in getting this done.
Yes,
So,
yes.
if you had to pick one word to describe yourself, what would it be?
Can I use 3?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, here's why. So this necklace has a P on it, and P for Pam.
Pam.
But I also feel like I'm a professional.
Ah.
And I had a very good a friend and mentor and boss tell me one time, you have extraordinary poise in your business dealings, and I'm a parent, and I'm passionate. Passionate is probably
the word.
I
can
yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
Passionate, poised, professional
parent. This is also a great part of the puzzle
You've got
when you
big swaths.
connect areas of the puzzle together. Like that's my
The
Vincent Van
satisfaction?
Gogh. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
I can't imagine.
That
You
has
should-
been like, actually, I only started it last Sunday. I showed you a picture.
Uh-huh.
It's near
you-
done.
Yeah.
I just have the
Now, are you the type
most
that-
abstract pieces to do.
the hardest? Now, do you do it while you're watching TV,
Oh, no.
or
No.
you're just focused on that?
I just focus.
And you get to put in the
Voila.
last piece. Yay!
Yay! Look at that. It is so great.
So now we're going to seal it.
Oh, okay.
and
See, I
so-
don't do that.
I was going to ask, so
necessarily,
what do you
yes.
do with the puzzles when you're
Oh,
done?
so this is why this worked out so well.
Yeah.
The castle is on the bag of,
That you
I'm
were
sure
holding.
this is for sure a Lego, because a Lego of some sort, because that was where
was
Desi
his
wanted
thing.
to go. Yes.
That's a very famous shop
Oh,
in our
yes,
household
absolutely.
as well. And I love stepping on them at 3 in the morning, should I have to go somewhere around the house in the dark. So what do you do with your puzzles when you're done with them?
So usually, I mean, this Vincent Van Gogh one that I'm doing right now, I may
Mhm.
do the glue and keep it. And you
Mhm.
gave me a good idea of putting it in the garage.
Yes.
Because I don't know where I'd put it in my house. But usually I very carefully box them up, tape them, and give them to Goodwill.
Okay.
Because, I
Yeah.
think people would they probably sell them for $1 on the shop.
But
And
yeah,
people
but
would
someone
love
get
to do them.
family
Occasionally, I have a cousin who lives in
insurance.
Tampa.
Actually,
And we
smear it around.
we change out puzzles. We had actually a Mandalorian one that we were doing, and I gave it to him when I was done. So they're even more crazy puzzles. They do things like puzzles of all one color. That would
Oh,
not be relaxing for me, Belinda.
There was on Amazon,
This
and
is
it's
cool. I've never done this part.
gluing it down with Mod
Yeah,
Podge. Yeah, so it'll
no.
dry clear, and
Uh-huh.
we can do a little more so that it gets.
And
in the
it'll all
cracks.
stay together?
Yeah, it should. But
Wow. And
yeah.
you just buy this at like Michael's?
Yeah, well,
or-
this was $1.
Oh,
It was at the
okay.
dollar store.
at
but
the
I've
dollar
seen,
store,
yeah,
even.
the bigger bottles are, I think, maybe
That's
$3,
so
$4, something
cool.
like that. So, but yeah, you seal it. So we did that. My kiddos had puzzles a couple summers
This
back.
one I might put up in my office.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
We will be framing it for you. So there's
Oh,
it's
thank
this
you.
size for a reason as well. So,
Yes.
so.
This is so cool.
So, what is the best business advice you've ever gotten or given?
So it sort of goes back to when I took this job
Uh-huh.
as the president and CEO of CareerSource Central Florida. I was working, I mentioned a mentor and former boss of mine, Bob Rath, who was kind of helping me prepare for that last interview when I was flying down to Orlando and doing those interviews. And he said to me, first of all, do you really want this job, or are you just trying to see if you can get it? And I said,
An interesting
it sort
question.
of shook me into, wait a minute, do I really want this job? Yes,
Yeah.
I really do want this job, because I think I can really make a difference.
Yeah.
And so I think to ask yourself, in any new endeavor, in any challenge that you have, are you really willing to put in what it takes to get this done and be committed? So, he really made me think about that. The other thing is that you are more courageous than you know. You will take risks, and you have to give yourself grace. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I don't like to take risks." But actually taking risks creates growth. Now, I'm not
Right.
talking about,
No, it
you
makes
know,
the best entrepreneurs, honestly.
Exactly.
Those
Exactly.
that are highly successful have gotten there because they had to go where no one
Yes.
else had gone, and that's the leap of faith is a big part of that. So,
Yes. Yes. So, and you need to do it. You can be a little afraid. You can acknowledge that fear, but taking that risk will help you to grow. And so, him saying those things to me, I actually would tell a lot of either people looking for new opportunities or businesses, wanting to grow their business, to think about that, or leaders that are looking to develop, their own leadership skills, to be willing to take risks and understand that it is part of your own personal and professional growth.
Be willing to take
yes,
risks.
Be willing to take risks.
I like
yes.
that. And
yes.
I really love that question on, are you really wanting the job?
Yes.
Or are you just trying to figure out if you could get it?
Yes.
So that's a really poignant question, especially in the position you were in,
Yes.
where you were walking in, and it was quite a lift because you were having to transform the organization on so many different levels.
Yes. And at that time, literally moving my whole life. And I had a job I loved. I was doing well. Like you and I were both ambitious individuals. You have to be ambitious to be willing to take on the leadership role in any organization. And an organization your size or our size is a significant role. It's also a very public role. As I mentioned earlier, we have public dollars, and we work with many, many, many different public officials, cities, counties, state, federal, and private business. So you have to be willing to navigate within and between all those worlds. That takes risk and courage, and willing and courage and to do those things.
Professionalism and poise.
And professionalism and poise. Yes, and passion.
Yeah, and passion. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us today.
Been wonderful. I am so
cute.
touched. These two truly are my heart. Well, my children too, but
they just don't happen to be in the photos.
Yes.
Next time we'll do one with
yes,
them in
wonderful.
it as well. Excellent. Thank you so much. And we wrap up all our episodes with our line:
Start or grow your business, make connections, NEC the possibilities.
Thanks for watching.